Hi, welcome to Wealth Invest with Matt. My name is Matt, and I'm here to assist you in your wealth development journey. The journey can be um, different for every one of us. Each one of us can be have each one of us can have separate wealth journey that we want to reach. Like some of us may want to go to that dream vacation we dream of. Some of us want to be able to maybe some of you may just want to save some money to go on the nice trip you always dream of, or to save some money to buy the nicest car you want to have, or buy this perfect house, or even just save some money for your kids to go to college, or 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 maybe just save enough money to have that personal to have that retirement saved up basically. For each one can be different. This wealth development journey can have different can be different for any one of us. The best way to do it is, I will say, the best way to start about it is to actually write it down and to make it as specific as possible. All right, and and then once you make it as specific as possible, and the next thing is and the next thing is to write it down and then make it as specific as possible, and then that way that will give you the drive later on so you work towards it basically. All right, so the wealth will not as a get rich quick basically. It will take time and a lot of effort to achieve it, but however, it's going to take time and effort to achieve it. Fortunately, with a person like me by your side, it will be like, to see, so to see it's not as impossible as some of other people make you think it is. You know, so so in order to know, in order to go deep into the journey, so I think it's best to start with the definition of wealth. So let's begin by going to the dictionary and find out exactly the meaning of wealth, because we have to know what wealth means before if we want to get something, at least we want to know what it is. So let's go to the dictionary and find out exactly what is wealth basically. So wealth is here I'm in the Webster dictionary here, and I'm just reading it to you. So it says here, all things that have monetary or exchange value. Again, it says all things that have monetary or exchange value. This is wealth. All right. Or again, another definition that I have here that I like a lot. It says anything that has utility or is capable of being appropriated or exchanged. Again, let me read it one more time. It says anything that has utility and is capable of being appropriated or exchanged. For example, let's say you have this pair of shoes that you're wearing. It it is it has value. So if it has value, it can be considered as wealth, right? As a wealth, right? Because it has value, because it can be exchanged for something else of value. For example, the shirt that you're wearing, all right? You may decide when you buy the shirt, you know it has value, you know it looks good on you, um, and then you may be able to exchange it later on or give it to someone else later on. So it's because it has value, right? So uh, those are wealth. So basically, wealth is um, those are wealth. Those are wealth. However, those are not the best um, way to store wealth, basically. Because once you have a shoes and then you keep start wearing it, then the value is going down in value, basically. So let's say you buy that pair of shoes for like 50 $100 basically. After you take it to the store and then you start wearing it, and for a couple of days and a couple of weeks, if you're trying to sell it, most of the time you're not going to get the same value for it, right? You're going to get it at a lower value. So that's not the best way of store values, basically. So most of the values of wealth basically uh, is stored, at least in this in this country basically. It is stored in the stock market basically. as of 2003, um, it says that the stock market was worth, we are at $33 trillion, not 33 million or 33 billions, but it's $33 trillion. All right. So basically, a lot of the market has a lot of values basically. So that question can be like, oh, so who own all those stuff in the market basically? You may think, you may think, um, you may think 75% of people are owning most of the stocks, but let's go. But that's not true. You may think about 50%. That's still not true. So basically, how many percent, like, you think on 90% of the stock market? You see, based on the data coming from the web here, it says that 1% of the 1% of the population of the US on 53% of the market. Listen, 1% of the US on 53% of the market. And the next 9%, the highest, richest 9%, on the other 35 to 36%. So that's like 53 plus 36 equal to like 89%. So basically, the top 10% on 89% of the market. So the bottom 90% on about the other 10%. So the goal of these channels is to have more people in that, uh, uh, grow that 10%, maybe go to 10, 15, 20% basically, so the average people can have more of that market. So the more they the average work hard and they go to work, they do things. So I mean, they may not have the right ways of saying things. So basically, these channels will show how to actually own more of the wealth, so we all can share that American dreams, basically, to own more of the shares of the market, basically. So that's one of the reasons why we have these channels, basically. So yes, and then it is not a myth. So it is possible for everyone. I would say that it is possible for everyone to reach, to acquire that wealth, basically. All right, so that wealth is stored in the market, and the market, like most of the company that we love, and we trust, fortunately, are listed in the market. So basically, for a person like me and you can just go out there and purchase the stock, basically. For example, we all mean like Nike's, Walmart, Target, or I Apple's, all the companies. Those are the companies that we love, and we love and trust, and those are the companies that are in the market. So if we want to invest, if we want um, a part of the dreams, then we can just own it, and then we keep it, and then as they make money, we make money. You know, so that's the best way to actually acquire it. So basically, in the market, we have the what you call the large cap, small cap, and medium size cap. So the large cap are where you have the high market values, basically stocks. So those are the stock like Apple, MMM, and yeah, those are the stocks that have high market value, like Johnson and Johnson, J&J, and stuff like that. And and in the market, you have the options to buy the share and to sell the shares. It's preferably that you buy the share at a low price, and then to sell it at a at 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 a price where you can make a profit, basically. So like this, you make profits, and at the same time, it's not good to actually buy the share at a price, and then when everyone is selling, to actually sell it at the same time, because in this case, when everyone is selling the shares, then you're going to the shares will be going down, and if we just listen to others and then just share sell that as well, then what will happen, then you'll be selling at a loss. So that's why in the market it's always good to do your own due diligence, and then know what you're buying. So if others are selling and then you don't listen to what anyone is saying, just always do your due diligence so you knows what you're buying and why you're buying it, and when you're going to sell it and why you're selling it. So always good, and I will be able to show you what I'm doing, and then so you can get so so you can make those decisions yourself on your own. So in these channels, we will go every day. I come here. I will always try to bring you the latest news on the market, so you know what's happening. So you can, so basically, so you knows what's happening. So you always stay up to date, and it's always good when you're in the market to always be reading about what's in the market, and at the same time, whatever you're reading, always do more research on it, because and then to use your critical thinking about it, because uh, there's always more than one side of any story basically. After a while in the market, then I know that by now. So the story for today was about that 20 to today they are imposing this administration is thinking about imposing 25% tariff on Apple products. And in case let's go back in time in case we are not up to date with the story about Apple. So way back, Apple used to make most of its product in China, because China was really had a very competitive market, and then so they used to make more of their product over there. However, um, recently, um, they were informed about the tariff, and they started to restructure at least the manufacturing of their distribution basically. Then they started manufacture more of the stuff, more and more of their stuff out of China, and then and move it to other countries like India and so on. So basically, um, it basically so. However, with this administration wants to bring more job inland, so we can grow our industrial base basically. So this way we can make America great again. So the average American can have more money in their pocket basically, to have a job and to have more secret and to be more richer basically. So with that said, um, the administration trying to bring more jobs, I mean more companies to do the manufacturing here. So like this, so in the case of Apple, what they're trying to do is trying to get Apple to manufacture their product here. In this case, they don't have to worry about paying 25% for shippings. That 25% can stay in here, and then make America richer again. So that is really the story behind it. So we are still going to look at the news, stay in the forum to see what will happen, if they are going to come up with a deal or have more manufacture of the product here. That's still in the pipeline, so we'll have to pay attention to see how that plays out basically. And that really affected the market. If you look at today the Dow opened at for 41,525, and in the day it gets to be better. I guess the market start digesting it, and they knows that they will come up with a deal basically with the administrations on the manufacturing. So basically, the market gets a little bit better as time goes. It went up to 41,788, but at the end of the day, it goes a little bit down to 41,603. So not bad, not bad. About about 0.61% down basically. Was not bad. It was a good way to it was a good time to actually purchase basically some of the stocks. So yes, so the market, so the market basically what happened. I mean, what happened? So basically, we will be talking about exactly what makes. So basically, what makes the market goes down is the fact that when people hear news like that, a lot of people wants to buy. I mean, want to sell their stock, and every time you sell your stocks, that drive down the value basically, and every time you buy, it goes up the price basically. So the more you buy, the more the price goes up, and the more you sell, the more the price goes down. It's just that the supply and demand, like the more something is in demand, um, the less supply it has, and the higher the price tends to be. And the less something is in demand, the lower the price is, and the more you have, because less in demand basically. So, so that's one of the things that happen, and then we will go in future show. We will talk about more of what drive the shares basically at a certain price, and then we will give you some tips as well, and some of the stuff that we are buying and selling, so trading. So we will keep you update in that, and then that's all we have for you today. And then if you are enjoyed the show, I will recommend you to like this channel and subscribe to this channel and share this channel to one of your friends. We will thank you again for taking your time to 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 enjoy the show, and then hope to see you next time. And thank you, and have a nice day. Bye bye.